Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is definitely going to be a life update video. You guys know that along with the more serious videos that are the bread and butter of this channel, I've always also made really personal videos, life update videos when a lot of things are changing around me or when there's something really big happening, and there are a few very big changes afoot in my life. I don't think this video is going to be an emotional video, but feel free to slap me if it is, if I like cry literally, because this is such a dumb thing to cry about. Because I mean, there are some happy parts to this and also some sad parts, just some life changes, you know? So the first really big change I wanted to talk about is, you guys know I moved to LA, Hollywood specifically, 3 years ago. And it has been the most insane journey ever. I have experienced so much in this city. I feel like I've lived here for 20 years. I really do. There's been so many crazy positive experiences in those 3 years, so many really awful ones, so many mind-blowing ones that I'm like, really, am I real? Is this happening? And overall, it's just been a really crazy journey, but I feel as though for a few reasons, that journey in LA is over. I don't know how well I have hidden it. Like, please let me know in the comments if you noticed or not, but I have been in a really bad depression for about 6 months, which I know in some circles it's kind of like almost a trendy thing to talk about that kind of stuff, but it's actually really hard for me to admit. And it's definitely affected my friendships, my relationship, like every area of my life. And I'm just at a point now where I am really questioning a lot of different things in my life. I'm questioning, am I happy? What do I need to do to be happy? What do I want out of life? And I feel like in many ways, my time in LA has been like trying to fit a square into a circle. Like, I've survived here and I've done a lot of cool stuff, but I also feel like I've always been sort of different than the culture here, if that makes sense. And I definitely don't take this as bashing the town, okay? If you live here, that's awesome. And like I said, I've had some positive things happen here. But all in all, I feel like it hasn't been the place for me long term. I really can't see myself growing old here. I can't see myself having kids here and having sort of the life that I've always wanted in the long run. You know, there's a lot of things I want out of life. You know, I'm not the most traditional person, obviously, but I do want certain things that maybe at face value for someone like me are not so attainable or maybe even impossible. And I don't feel like this is a town that's really conducive to those long-term goals of having a house, of having a kid. I mean, if I want a house here, honey, it'll be about $1 million for a shack, where you can get a mansion for $1 million in almost any other state. So that's one, you know, surface level thing. But also, you know, I don't think it's any coincidence that my depression, which by the way, depression is very different than gender dysphoria. And I'm not really gonna say which is worse, okay? But it's a very different thing and it's not easy for me to talk about. But I feel like it's not any coincidence that the lockdowns in this town started at the same time as this really bad depression fit that I've been in. You know, I don't know what it's like where you are, but in LA, it's been really bad. You know, we were locked down and then we kind of weren't, and then we were even more so, but certain things are allowed to be open that aren't, and it's all just been a very confusing time. You know, the poverty and the just despair in this city is at an all-time high. And let me tell you something, Hollywood is a very strange place because there are certain things in this town that enable you to ignore the uglier parts. You know, the fact that you are driving past just immense amounts of homeless people every single day. You're on your way to a red carpet. Why? Well, you're not going to let it affect you. You know what I mean? But all those things that made LA seem so amazing and so worth it and so glamorous are just completely gone. And frankly, with them gone, I've really been questioning if those things that I used to value so much living here and that felt like, you know, the prizes of living in Hollywood, if they're so great in the first place. What is a red carpet? It all just seems very callous to me now. It seems very shallow and stupid. Like, that's one of those things that you're growing up and you feel like, oh, you've made it because you're doing that. But really, they mean almost nothing in the grand scheme of things. Not even almost nothing. They mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. What I want out of life is just so different. And I see you guys commenting every once in a while, maybe less now because I've been here for 3 years, but I've seen comments like, oh, Blaire's changed and she moved to LA. I think I have. I think I agree with that in some negative ways and in some positive ways. And if I'm going to be very, very candid here, you know, I don't want to over dramatize what I'm saying here, but Let me just be open about this. I have found myself slipping into, I'm not going to say an addiction, okay? But I have found myself inching toward dependency on certain things to even cope with being in this city and being in the culture of Hollywood. And I've caught myself and I don't like it, and I'm ready for some big changes in my life. I'm ready for something a little more wholesome. I'm ready to take what I do to the next level, in the sense that, you know, I could always do YouTube from anywhere, right? Like I can do YouTube in Zimbabwe, okay? And make the same kind of videos I make, frankly. There was always certain things I couldn't do. Like I think back to, like, look at that, like my Penthouse spread, 6-page spread in Penthouse, first trans person ever in Penthouse. You know, maybe some people think that's, you know, ratchet or whatever, but I was really proud of it. Couldn't have done that living somewhere else. Like the fact that my proximity was in Hollywood, I think got me a lot of things. Everything that made that possible is gone with the lockdowns, and I've been in such a bad, depressed state in this town. And I'm ready for something new. I'm ready to breathe fresh air again. I'm ready to, you know, not pay an arm and a leg for a 2-bedroom apartment when I could have a beautiful, like, very large, very nice house with the amount of money I spend to live here. Like, the enamor of LA has really worn off on me. You know, it's crazy because so much in this city has changed even since the 3 years that I moved here. There were streets and areas of town that were like vibrant, normal, nice parts of town that are now tent cities. You know, I don't even live in a bad part of town, but the crime here is crazy. We have an app that shows us all the crime, you know, in the near area, and if we had sound notifications on, our phone would just be going off constantly. You know, we looked, what was it, like right before I even started filming, there was someone held at scissor point on my block. Like a couple days ago, there was like a standoff because someone had a machete. Like just all kinds of crazy stuff. And listen, crime happens everywhere, but it's kind of effing out of control in this city, I'm not gonna lie. And you know, there's also something to be said about, you know, everything people say about Hollywood is true, and then some. Like, sounds very cliche, but it's a lot of fake people here. It's a lot of people with ulterior motives. And I think one of the really negative things that Hollywood has done to me is it's made me distrustful of people. It's made me scared of people. It's made me question everyone around me and why they're around me. And I don't like that. I don't like whenever it's so loud here. You know, I'm looking at my life. I am 26, right? Not in my early 20s. I'm just over the hump of my mid 20s. And I'm questioning where the rest of my life is gonna go. And I don't know exactly where it's gonna go, but I know for now, it's going to Texas. I'm moving to Texas, so shout out to all my Texans who follow me. I know there's a lot of you guys. When I did my tour analytics to know like where were the most poppin' places to go as far as my supporters, a lot of y'all are in Texas. So hi, coming soon. I just think more and more that my time in LA is just up, and I'm very grateful for the many things I learned in this town, both good and bad. I'm gonna take a little bit of LA with me onto this next chapter of my life, but I can't see myself being happy here anymore. And another thing, obviously, is that my address has been doxxed on the internet for quite a while now. And obviously, maybe not so obvious, that has brought a lot of crazy shit as well into my life. A lot of stressful stuff. So I just want a clean slate. I want to start creating the conditions to have a family, which is something that I want so badly, and it's just not gonna happen here. So, and honestly, one of the reasons I really wanted to make this video for you guys is that I think a lot of us are feeling the weight of just the intensity of this year and the world. And I know I'm not the only one who is extremely, extremely, extremely depressed. I've never felt depressed like this. It's kind of actually scary. My mind goes to some very dark places sometimes. And I want to let you guys know it's okay to switch it up if you're feeling that way. A lot of us feel very locked in right now to our circumstances. And you're not. You have the power to change things. And this move is scary for me, changing my life, and everything is so scary, but I think it's time. I think it's time for me to make a decision for myself and really move on from a lot of really ugly things that maybe even someday I'll talk more about, but for now, I have to leave it behind me. But you know, I do feel for the first time this year that the future is bright. And at least I really hope it is. So I'm not moving this second. I am house hunting, but I do want you guys' advice. If you know anything about house hunting, I've never even done this before. And let me know what parts of Texas are the best to move to. Any like dope realtors who want to hit me up, hit me up. And I guess that's it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're not. I know you've watched 4 or 5 more videos. I know you're gonna watch 4 or 5 more. Please just join the family. I don't have any friends. Definitely need friends in Texas, by the way. So I need subscribers. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I post on there way more than I do on here, so you gotta keep up with those to keep up with me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.